In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a Skool community from start to finish. And you'll want to stick around because I'm going to share with you how you can get a free Canva and Photoshop template that you can use to get those images for the Skool community. What's up, friends? Today, we'll be diving into how to set up your Skool community. Skool, to me, is one of the best community platforms available for you to host your courses, to have a calendar, a shared calendar with your community members, and then also just to have a leaderboard for you to have gamification. It's just a very simple and clean and efficient layout. And so far, based on like the different community platforms that I've tested, either as someone setting up that community or helping run it, and somebody that has just been a part of communities, Skool, I think, is just one of the best options on the market right now. Because one of the things I've noticed is with some platforms, they become ghost towns after a while and people don't return to them as frequently. Or you might realize that it's just very complicated to get started. And I think that's one thing that Skool does really well. It's just very simple and easy to use. And if at any point you want to try Skool, I've got a free 14-day trial that you can check out. So you can support the family using my affiliate link. Appreciate the support. So first of all, why should you start a Skool community? You're probably either going to be a course creator, a community leader, a business owner, maybe you're a coach, or you just want to create a community for your favorite people. Maybe you're just tired of Facebook groups with all the distractions that take your members away from your community and they end up elsewhere. And you just want a simple, dedicated place for your classroom calendar with built-in gamification. And I think one of the best parts is the awesome team building this app with Alex Hermosi and Sam Ovens kind of heading up this effort. It's just amazing to see how fast this platform has grown and to see where they're taking it. And I would say like Skool is like the Google of community platforms. It's simple and easy to use, not overcomplicated, and you can get started really quickly. So if you're ready, let's dive in. So the first thing we're going to do is this sign up process. So let's say you're watching my video right now. This is my other video. I'll leave a link in the description so you can check that out if you're interested. But basically you'll just click on here to start your free 14-day trial and you'll come to this page. And then you'll just input your group name. So just for fun, I'm going to call this Creators Circle. And then you're just going to enter in your credit card information. And basically, you'll see here, your first charge will be June 28th, or whenever 14 days is from when you're creating it. And you'll see that it's for $99. And that's the beauty of Skool. It's a very simple pricing system. Basically, you can cancel anytime. You get all the features, unlimited everything, no hidden fees. And, that's the thing about other platforms is oftentimes you have to upgrade to get this extra feature. So it's pretty awesome. So once you're ready, just hit start free trial. And here we go. And I guess you have to say that you're a human. I am a human. I am not a robot. I guess these days it's becoming harder and harder to tell. So this is a very simple setup. Like basically you see here, it says like set up your group, invite 3 people, add a group description, set cover image, which I've got you covered. Again, in the description, I'll have a link to some templates that you can use to easily get that part done, and then write your first post is like the simplest steps. So we're going to skip over the invite 3 people. I'm sure you can have 3 friends that you can start things off with. So add a group description. So again, you can edit your group name if you want to. This is the icon and the cover image that you'll add. So again, to get access to that, all you're going to do is use the link. Just enter your email address and then you'll get access to this, where basically you'll see that the recommended image size. So if you want to do it on another platform, you've got all these details ready. But then I also created a nice Canva template with the right dimensions for the cover image, as well as the icon, which you can just duplicate into your own Canva account. to get started. And then I've also got the PSD. So let me show you what that looks like. So you got the 2 artboards, one with a school cover. So you can just change this to whatever title you want. And then change your icon out, maybe change the background color. Super simple. But it's just like a quick way for you to get started. That way, that's not the thing that's prohibiting you from getting started. You got everything that you needed. So I already made those images thanks to that template. So I'm just going to go in here and I've got the school icon here. So we're just going to open that up. It's already perfectly aligned. So we'll just hit save on that. Processing. And then we'll hit upload for the cover image. And then like that, you've got the cover image ready to roll. It's all right where it needs to be. Click save. And you've got those 2 things all set. And here you can enter in a group description. This is for creative entrepreneurs. In a future date, you probably want to put something a little bit more elaborate and explain all of the value that somebody gets out of the community. You might have a group color. So let's just grab for now the hex code for this. It might even just be black. And it is 100% just 000. So we'll just do that. So we're just a very minimalistic setup here. So we'll just do that. You get your initials, and whether your group is private or public, right now I'll just keep it private since this is our little test together. We'll update those settings. And then already you can see that it's branded there. And right here, we've got the cover image and the icon up over here. Next up, write your first post. And what I'd recommend for this first post is to have something to have other people introduce themselves. Because a big part about community is you want other people to share where they're from, what are they interested in, because oftentimes that sparks conversations or people realize like, oh, they're also into these things. I should get to know that person. So I think that's like a fantastic way to get started is with a start here post. A good example of this is one of the groups that I'm a part of and I help lead is the Finishers Elite. And we've got one of those posts right here. And you might include like a little video. Currently, just so you know, you cannot upload videos directly to Skool. So you have to use like Loom or YouTube or Vimeo, just one of those platforms. But it's super simple. You just post the link to whatever video it is and it just shows up right there and people can click on it. And what I love is it's just like this simple focused view that people can see the video and just make it super short, like less than 5 minutes, even like two minutes is great. And so like you just want to welcome people to here and then, just ask a couple of questions. Where are you from? Maybe, what they're working on. And then if they need any immediate help, or you could ask like a fun question, like what's their favorite band or what's their favorite color? just like something to kickstart things. And then you might include like details about how they level up. And that's something we'll talk about again is gamification, how to set that up. And, just any rules that you might have and, what you're all about, just a quick introduction post. So just for now, I'm just going to basically take this just so you can see what that looks like. Go to our community, paste this in, start here. And let's just use a pin. There we go. And then another thing that I highly recommend, especially for this post, is turn on this add action. So what that does is it's going to show up in their feed as incomplete. It'll be like this little red icon. And then once they complete it, it'll look like this little green action complete. And so it just gives you incentivize them to actually complete the action, just having that little option there. So, and this even gives you suggestions for fun ways to kick off your community. Again, like ask people to introduce themselves, share a picture of their workspace, their favorite book, movie. I actually wonder if I click on this. Look, they even have like default ones. That way, like, if you're unsure what to do, you can just select them and they even create a poll for you. That's so funny. So we'll just go with this one and, maybe again, put a little pin on it. Other things that you can do is you can add attachments, add a link, add a video. So again, like if I wanted to add that one video, let's see, all you need to do is copy the link and just basically, let's see, add video, paste the link in, and then there it is. It's right in there. So it's a very simple way to get started. You can also add a GIF or GIF, however you want to say it. Drop in the comments. Do you say GIF or GIF? And we'll have a big debate. And then like that, you can add it. And so it makes it a little bit fun. You can have different sections. Right now, there's just the general feed, which is great. You can add emojis, have a poll. So very simple. And you can even opt to send emails when you create these posts. But for now, we're just going to create this post. And I'll show you what it looks like. So there we go. We've got our first post. And you can even add a reply. Hi, I'm Paul. Super excited to be here. And I will answer back with a GIF and then comment. It's just like very clean, very quick. It's not like I've seen some platforms where like you hit post or like you click on something and it takes like a second for it to register. But so far it's just very responsive and quick. And then you can reply to people. It's just, super simple. And then that's pretty much like the bare bones. Like if you're just getting started, that's probably a great place to start. Then you can add any events. Maybe you have a Q&A session, a weekly coaching call, whatever you want. So we can even just select one of theirs. And you can specify who the events are for. So like you could specify members at a certain level or members inside a certain course. And then you can post like where you're meeting, whether it's a Zoom call, a Google Meet, or an address, or if you have a custom link, you can put that in there. And so you can make it a recurring event, how often it recurs, when it repeats, just to give you an idea of what's possible. So let's say every Monday at 10 a.m., we're going to have a weekly coffee hour, because why not? Everyone loves coffee, right? So let's post that in here. And there we have it with our cute image of cats. I'm sure we can change that. Let's change all events. I mean, who knows? There it is. So if you need to change your image from the cats, although I do kind of like the cats, it looks like it's the same size as a cover image. So that cover image template that I have in the description will also work for your events. So yeah, that's a fun fact that I didn't realize. You can even remind members by emailing them one day before, which is pretty cool. Okie dokie. And then from there, the next tab over is the members. So you can see any of the members, when they joined, what level they're at. And this is something you can set up, if they're free or paid member. And then you've got leaderboards. So you can set up these to have different names. And you can see, once you have members in here, you'll see the other members. And again, your about page, you can upload custom images and videos. And they've got you know what? I'll add this one as well to the recommended images. So for the about, so that'll also be added to the templates. I'll add both the Canva and who knew? You're getting an extra bonus here about cover, about image. I don't know. And so yeah, I'll make that available for all of these. But for now, let's see what happens if I just upload our cover image, just so you can see what that looks like. You can even add a video, which is nice. So let's do the video. Here, I'll just upload this video because why not? So this is a YouTube video. Boom, like that. I've got both the image and the video right in there. And you can add a custom description. This is a community for creative entrepreneurs. I'm actually really considering making a group for creative entrepreneurs. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. Would love to have you guys in that group once, if that ends up being a thing. And you'll notice already it's populating with the information that we put in there. So the coffee hour it shows that it's happening in 3 days. I love that it shows like the next upcoming event front and center. So yeah, that's like the main thing. But as you can notice, there's no classroom yet. And you might be wondering why. And so let's go to settings, and we're going to go to let's see here. So let's start at the beginning, but we'll go through all the stats while we're here. So you can see your dashboard with all your important information, how many paid members you have, what's your monthly reoccurring revenue, your MRR, your payouts. And then you can invite people to your group using this link. Invite methods will grant access to people without purchasing or requesting membership. So it looks like you can also integrate with Zapier to create like a automation so that like maybe someone purchases on another, if you've got like a different payment platform, and then you can have it send them an invite email, I believe, through that method. So that's another way to do that. You have, again, this settings here for all your basic information, your subscriptions. So you can add different tiers. And so let's add a price. So, okay, we'll skip that for now. But you basically connect your Stripe account if you want to monetize directly on Skool versus on a different platform. So just something to keep in mind. You can have different categories. So maybe you want to celebrate wins. Who doesn't love wins? Trophy. Celebrate your wins with the community. And so you can select who can post. So anyone can post, or only admins and mods can post. Super simple, no complicated things, which is both like a plus and a minus. It just depends on how you look at it, because maybe you need some more extra like functionality or customization. It just depends. And then maybe you do, and then maybe you'll have a category for announcements. Like these are just things that you probably, and then this one you want only admins, all updates for the community. And we'll add that. And then you have tabs. So currently you'll see classrooms off. So that's like a feature that you can have. You can even turn off the calendar, but I think both are super useful. Even if you don't have like an official course, you could post like previous calls in there. You could post any resources that you want people to check out, any insights that people, add to your community that you just want to make it easily accessible that people just go back to. It's just a great way of doing that. Plugins. So you might have membership questions. So when they join, so maybe you want to know how much revenue do you currently make every year? I'm just making these up. And you have the option of doing text box, multiple choice, or email address. So if you wanted to capture their email address, maybe say less than 50K, over 50K. We'll just make it that simple for now. Okay, so you got that question. You can add multiple questions. Super nice. Again, Zapier integration. You can do webhooks to invite members to your group with a simple webhook. Auto DM members, I would highly recommend doing this. Get the conversations going. So it's like, hey, so-and-so, welcome to your community, creators. So it would say like, hey, Paul, welcome to Creator Circle. Message me here if you need help with anything. Or you could just add your own thing like, hey, I want you to introduce yourself to this, the intro post. And so you might add that link in there. Or you might say like, these are some resources that you want to check out, where maybe you send them a link to a video, who knows? But that gives you a preview of what that looks like. Pretty sweet. So we'll turn that on. I think turn that on. Back to plugins. And then you might want to unlock chat at level 2 if you have a free tier, just because sometimes you get people spamming. But if you have a paid membership, I don't think this is necessary because obviously people that are paying, they're invested, and I think they wouldn't jeopardize their membership if they're paying to be part of your group. Meta pixel tracking. So if you want to run Facebook or Instagram ads to your About page, retarget visitors, and track signups with precision, you can set that up. You can get metric data, see how many total members you have, where are the active members, daily activity, so you can see where there's less and more activity. Gamification, I love this part. And you can unlock things for members. Maybe you have special bonuses. They win a t-shirt, they win special access, maybe a coaching call with you, you name it. And you can even name these. So, starter, let's say, I don't know, guru, elite, and so forth and so on. You get the idea. And then once you have courses, hopefully I can add that real quick. Where did the courses go? I might need to refresh this page, but I'll show that hopefully in a little bit here. Discovery. So you can show your group in the discovery if you want. And so that looks like, just so you can see what that looks like, if you go here, I think this is actually a benefit to Skool, is that you're actually on a platform with a ton of different groups, but it's also like kind of closed off so that like your community is still unique. But yeah, you can see like how people could find your group, like maybe you're a group for videographers. And so like you can already tell there's a couple of groups here on that. I'm sure like entrepreneurs. So like you might want to consider these keywords that people search so you can add them to your descriptions so that when people are looking for a group similar to yours, they can find it easily. And the other thing that I love about Skool is like they've got a unified chat system. So unlike another platform that I've tried, community platform, is that you've got like a chat per group, which is super annoying because then like all of a sudden you have to go back to that one community to like answer someone. But on Skool, if you're part of tons of different communities, there's still a single chat. And you can even see in the chats, like where you are in like the same groups. So you don't forget like, oh, I met that person from this. You also have a unified notifications. And that's something that you can set up is like how frequently you want to get notified, whether you want to get emailed or not. Because I find that a lot of people get annoyed by notifications if they can't set them up the way they want. So links, let's see here. My website, just for fun. So you can make it private so only members can see, or public so everyone can see. And what that looks like, so when I add it, is we'll go over here and you can see it right here. And then if someone clicks that, that'll bring you to whatever URL. So this is a great way of bookmarking things. Maybe you have a certain thing outside of Skool that you want people to continually go to. You can make it quickly accessible on the side in a very clean and minimalistic way. So I think that's just a neat little feature there. And then billing and referrals. So if you need to update your billing information, you can do that all here. You can refer people, which is great. And now if we go to Classroom, you can create a new course. So I guess you create the course. I thought you might create it in the settings, but it would seem as though you create it in Classroom, which seems to make sense. You create your calendar events in Calendar and you create your classes in the Classroom. So we're going to say start here. So maybe you have like an introduction post where you want them to follow a sequence of things to start with. Great place to start. Okay. And I'm going to add one more cover image. This is hilarious. I wonder is it the same size? No, it's not. Okay. So I'm going to make, I'm giving you everything here. So we're going to have one more image size, and this is course cover. And so those are the dimensions. And again, I'll add a Canva link and a Photoshop, add that to the Photoshop template. So you've got it all and you don't have to like dig around, because there's nothing more frustrating than like having to find like the right dimensions for different things. It can be a pain. So I'll try to make that a little bit easier for you. Okay. And then you can select whether only certain members have access or members at a certain level. So it's kind of unique. Again, I'm just going to see what happens if I upload my current. Probably will work. It's probably just not the correct dimensions. Yeah, it seems to work all right. Okay, so that looks good. And we'll add that. And so it's very simple to edit. You got like different header options, bold, italics, strike through. You can even, is this code? Yeah, so I guess you could add like code blocks. So like, I'm curious. A code block. So I guess, yeah, you just have an option. Like maybe if you got a coding course, this is a great way. Bullet points, numbering, a quote. Let me see what this is, a quote. Just so you can get an idea of all these things. So that's what that looks like. Oh, is that another coding? Huh. So I guess maybe they have another. Let's see what that looks. This version. We're experimenting with this together. So just two options for that. You can add images, a link, a separator. So that's what the separator looks like. And then you can add your video. So again, like if you have a YouTube video, maybe you make it unlisted, just paste it in there, or you could use a step 1. Just hit save. And then like once people, are done with that section, they'll just mark it done. And then you can see they're already done with the whole thing. Let's see here. So you can add a resource link, add a resource file, add a transcript, pin to community post. So to pin a post to this page, go to the post you want to pin, and then go to the 3 dots, context menu, pin to course page, and type in the name of this page. So if you want to connect the two, you can. Okay. You can add a folder. This is a folder. I'm telling you, we're doing a deep dive. That way, when you go in here, you're going to know exactly what you're doing, and there's not going to be any confusion. So maybe you have multiple steps in step 1. Step 1 steps. Let's see. Can I drag it in? Oops. Yep. Just drag and drop. Look at that. Step 1 is in there. And then we're going to do that. We're going to do that again. Let's make another folder just so you can see the idea. Step 2. This is going to be you got step 2. And they're going to add a page in the folder. So there's folders and pages. Super simple idea. We're going to hit edit. Step 2, call your mom. For anyone that needed a reminder today, call your mom. So that gives you an idea of what this looks like with folders. Again, you don't need folders, but if you wanted to have a little bit more of an organization, you can do that. Change folder. So that's another way to get them out of the folder if you don't want to use folders anymore. You can have a drip status. Oh, interesting. So maybe you release the page a certain number of days after the member joins. Very interesting. Change folder. None. Save. And then if you want to get rid of these, just delete. You get the idea. So super, super simple to add your courses, make it, the layout that you want. And it just looks very clean. People can see what percentage they are in your courses. And again, this is a great place to add any resources that you want people to go back to. Maybe like, for example, if you were making a video editing course, you might have your resources right in here so they don't have to go look for them or go somewhere. So awesome thing to have. So yeah, we just spent, maybe a half hour going through this, setting it up, but I'm telling you, it's so simple. When you're ready to create a post, you see right here, it says write something. You just click on that. You're going to put in your title, any of your information similar to what we did with our introductory post. You can select your category, whether it's a general discussion where anything goes, or if you want to do wins or announcements, you can do that. But like I'm telling you, very easy to set up. If you have any questions about setting up your Skool community, just let me know in the comments below or DM me on one of the social media platforms. Happy to see if I can give you a hand in if you have any questions regarding that. So, one last thing is when you create your post like this one, you want to pin it to the top. So you're going to pin to feed. And let's just for fun, connect it to the course page. So like, let's say step 1, you want them to post in there. It makes perfect sense to have that pin right there. So you tell people, we'll get rid of this craziness. Let's see here. Introduce yourself in the thread below. I guess they probably call them posts. There you go. Save. Done. Look at that. People can just click on it, drop their comment. Done. Yeah. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover in a future video. And again, if at any point you would just want to try Skool for yourself, play around with it, do this yourself, where you set up your own community. Again, super simple. But yeah, I've got a free 14-day trial in the link in the description. So feel free to check that out. But yeah, I think that's it. I mean, hopefully I didn't miss anything, but I'm telling you, it just is so simple and easy to get started. I think it's a great platform for anyone looking to start a community and just need a place to gather and share ideas, but don't want to spend forever setting something up and getting all complicated in the process. So I think this is a great way to do that. So yeah, that's it, friends. And until next time, stay techie.